Welcome to episode 91 of the Family Geekery podcast. I'm Amber.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Chris.
And today we're going to be talking about Avatar the Last Airbender, the live-action Netflix show.
Yeah.
We're a little bit late, but that's okay.
A little bit late.
It's okay.
How long's it been out?
A couple weeks.
Oh, that's fine. That's not
Okay.
late.
We
That's
planned it.
fashionably late.
Fashionably late. Yeah, we had other important things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
We planned
Busy
monthly.
schedule. We're heavily booked.
But first we're going to go to our Geeky Weeks.
Geeky Weeks.
Who's going to start off?
I'll start off. Mostly because I don't know what I did, so it's going to put me on my toes here. I watched Avatar.
Good one. You took mine.
Nice.
Yeah, that's about it. I'm trying to think if I played any new games. I don't think so. I'm still playing that tower, the Perfect Tower 2. It's still piquing my interest, which is good. Anytime a free game can pique your interest for multiple weeks, it's a good thing. And
League of Legends.
that's about it.
We watched a funny movie the other day.
What was
What'd
that?
you see?
Savvy Super Saver.
Oh, yeah. The Queen Pins. Queen Pins based on a extreme couponing ring that went too far. Good movie.
It was funny.
Is it
That's
a
funny.
new movie? I didn't know if it was like a newer movie when you guys were telling me about it.
Yeah, it's relatively new.
Okay.
Yep, that's
All
it for
right.
me. Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay.
Well, I also watched the first episode of Avatar. And then last night I actually watched the first episode of Dahmer, which I knew came out like a while
Oh,
ago,
no.
but I
Oh,
watched
no.
that. Interesting.
See,
It's
I
weird
couldn't
to
even
see
watch that one.
Quicksilver,
Yeah.
but other than that, not much going on. But we did all buy our tickets for GalaxyCon this weekend.
That's right.
If you see us there and you're a fan, stop by, say hi. We
That's
don't
right.
bite. Danny
No, we don't.
occasionally does, but she's going on a different day than us.
No, I'm going on the same day.
Oh, you are? Very nice.
Should I wear my Family Geekery shirt so people can recognize us? One of our poor listeners walk up to a big old dude with two younger daughters with him and be like, "Hey, are you guys Family Geekery?" They'll be like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Go watch our YouTube video versions of our special episodes to know what we look like so you can find us at GalaxyCon.
True.
And while you're there, subscribe.
They'll be begging us to booth by next year.
They can't afford us.
That's all for me.
All right. So I watched the first season, it's the only season so far, of Has Been Hotel, and that's on Amazon Prime Video. And I think the first episode came out like 2 years ago or something, but it's one of those, adult animated shows but it also has like musical style, like music songs in it. So it's really funny. It takes place in hell, and they're trying to redeem the souls in hell so that heaven stops killing all the people in hell. So it's kind of goofy. It's fun. And I started watching it like a couple weeks ago, but then I saw that like a lot of the voice actors are going to be at GalaxyCon. So I was just like, okay, it's a short show. I'll finish it.
Cool.
And it's really good. Would suggest it.
Very nice.
Have to check
That's
that
it
out.
from me. Yeah. Only 8 episodes and they're like 20 minutes, so it's a quick watch.
How many minutes each?
20.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's like 2 bowls of popcorn for that whole season.
Shorter than some movies in the theater.
I don't know
That's-
how fast you eat popcorn, but
You don't know the size of the bowl. All right, so we ready to jump into the topic of this episode?
Yes.
We're talking
I
about
am.
blue alien creatures on another planet of Pandora.
Wait a second. Did I watch the wrong Avatar?
They don't make it easy, do they?
Well, which one came first?
Probably the Airbender.
Probably.
And when did that come out? The original cartoon?
Well,
Early
don't
2000s?
2005.
That sounds
Really?
about right.
That old?
I watched some of it after I watched the first episode of the live action to see how similar it was.
I did too.
Oh, really?
Oh, twinsies. And I was like, oh, this came out in 2005. I thought it came out sooner. I mean, like, closer to now.
I thought it was a little bit newer than that, but I guess that makes sense. I'm surprised we didn't watch it then if it came out in 2005.
Yeah,
You guys were too busy watching Caillou.
true.
I guess. And when we were watching Nickelodeon, Danny was forcing us to watch SpongeBob.
Oh,
It didn't seem like it was forcing. It seemed like it was just constantly on,
yeah.
Yeah.
like perpetually on. But yeah, so Avatar the Last Airbender, if you're not familiar, short recap, it was a cartoon. It became a live action movie. Then it became a cartoon live action show.
There is no live action movie in Ba Sing Se. That's a little reference to the show. There is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Okay.
There is a war in Ba Sing Se, but there is no war in Ba Sing Se.
Is it like
You just have to keep watching the animated show because it's really good.
have you seen the whole thing?
Yeah.
All 3 seasons?
Yep.
Okay.
And I watched Korra.
Mm-hmm.
Which was also a Netflix Nickelodeon crossover, wasn't it?
I think the last season, maybe. I think it like got dropped by Nickelodeon and then Netflix picked it up, maybe.
Okay.
That one came out when we were a little bit older, I think.
Yeah, I remember the commercials for that one.
Yeah. So we kind of like moved past Nickelodeon by then, I think.
Yeah, that one was much more recent.
But both phenomenal shows. But we're not here for the animated show today. We are here for the live action.
Yeah.
As it turns out, no spoilers, but if I accidentally watched the animated episode, it's like you would have never known by our conversation. It's that similar. The first
Oh,
episode
yeah.
is that similar. But it's great because
Yeah.
there's just a lot of intentional throwbacks, like the jasmine tea.
Oh, that's just Iroh. Iroh's all about the jasmine tea.
That was great.
Oh, he's great.
So yeah, so the live action TV show that we're talking about starts off with what the Fire Nation. Oh, it starts off with the kind of spy
Yeah.
getting the war plans from the Fire Nation, stealing the war plans from the Fire Nation, going to go warn all of his other friends. But as it turns out, the Fire Nation kind of wanted that to happen because they're about to kick off a war.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They believe it's their time to rule the world. And you can almost start to see the sense in it in some parts of the show where you're like, oh yeah, it kind of makes sense. It's complete tyranny.
Yeah.
But they think that they're using war to create a peaceful world.
Right.
So it's, even though they are the bad guys or the antagonists, you start to say, Now, we've been down this road several times in history. we know that's not the proper way to do things. But I did, and I hope it was intentional for the writers. I did notice like a millisecond of, oh yeah, these guys, they're just doing what they think is right. And I liked that because I'm a tyrant myself.
I wouldn't go around advertising that to the world.
No. Not yet. I sneak up on people with it, not just don't exclaim it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did think that starting the show off like that was really cool because from what I remember, because it's been, a couple of years since I watched the animated show, you kind of just start off and jump right into Katara and Sokka pretty straight into it, right?
Yep. And then they have little flashes of flashbacks.
Yeah. So I thought it was really cool to get all of that kind of out of the way just to set up the whole story of the show. Because I don't even know if we find out in the, I don't even know if we see the start of the war kind of in the way that we saw it in the live action at all throughout the entire animated show. So it's kind of cool to see like, yes, we tricked you, Earthbender, because now we're going to attack the Air Nation because that's where the Avatar is. So we just wanted to throw you off our track and have everybody else come to support you, when really we want the Airbender.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and conveniently gathering all of the Airbenders in one place helps explain why Aang is the last Airbender.
Yeah, and as someone who didn't have any background knowledge of Avatar or any of this, and I also thought this Avatar was in the same universe as the Blue People Avatar, I really appreciate the, like, starting out with, like, the start or, like, the war and, like, the voiceover lady, like, telling, like, what is going on and
the
with the
voiceover
Avatar.
lady.
Yes.
So I was
name?
watching with subtitles, so I know that it was Avatar Kyoshi who was narrating that.
I don't know who
Who
that is.
was the last Earth Avatar.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. But
Yeah.
Is she the
voiceover
one that they
lady.
depicted in the intro scene on top of the mountain?
On the
doing all the
staircase with
fancy
all the
tricks?
avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah, there too. Yeah, I think that was Kyoshi. She plays a bigger role in it later when we meet the Kyoshi warriors. So there's a little, hint for what's coming up soon-ish.
So she was in the animated series.
Yes.
Was she? Okay.
And
which is
I
interesting
believe, yeah,
because in the intro of the animated series, they go through the same thing. It was like frame for frame, very similar to them.
Yeah.
They talked about the Earth people and they do their little dance and throw rocks, and then they talk about the Wind people and they fly through the air, and then they talk about the Avatar and how he, and they only used that pronoun when they talked about the Avatar. He, had the skills of all four or whatever. And I was like, well, in the other one, they showed a female, so it doesn't have to always be a male. So it's interesting that the cartoon they specifically say that pronoun, but then there was the other Avatar they talk about as female.
Yeah. And I think Katara is the one who says the intro on the animated show.
Yes.
So it's cool that they showed Kyoshi in this. And I'm pretty sure they're making an animated Kyoshi show soon. Or something. I know she's a big deal in the graphic novels. And she's a big deal on the animated show also, but I think there's going to be new Kyoshi content coming soon. So I wonder if they're just hyping that up, but she's cool.
That's cool. Now, was the original animated series, do you know the history as far as was it foreign and it became,
I'm pretty sure it's American.
Okay.
But obviously drew a lot of inspiration from anime and lots of, Asian cultures. So I thought that's really cool to see as a kid, honestly, in the animated show. And then
Mm-hmm.
seeing the casting of this show is just superb. Like crazy.
Right.
Yeah. So when you say draws inspiration from like anime, you mean the exaggerated facial expressions and the screams and the
I
quirkiness?
just mean kind of like the overall style, because it does look different from like, your Mickey Mouse and your SpongeBob and stuff. Like it does have a lot of more like Japanese styling in the faces and stuff.
Right. But it's a much more Western animation.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I heard somewhere, and I don't know how accurate this is, but one of my friends when I was in high school was like, yeah, Japan doesn't really like to tell secrets or tell anybody else how to do anime style animation. They like to keep it over there so that nobody can replicate it.
Cool. So yeah, the casting was good. Um, I thought they all did awesome. I like the fact that they nailed the look of everybody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Like,
Katara's beads in her hair.
mm-hmm. And then
Uh,
Sokka, just like his face also just looks just
Yes.
like, and his voice, like his entire energy, like that is Sokka. He is Sokka.
and they did a good job making Appa
Oh
look
yeah.
much like Appa, but just his markings are a little bit more subtle, I think. They're not
Mm-hmm.
as pronounced on his body, but
But it looks more realistic. Like the first thing I noticed watching the show was in that um like intro sequence with the Earthbender and in the Fire Nation, um the little birds on the ground, because
oh yeah,
the Avatar universe, like the world of Avatar is like known for having like weird animals. Like there's turtle ducks and obviously the sky bison and stuff, but like seeing those little tiny birds just on the floor, and I'm like, you're spending your budget to like CGI these cool looking birds on the ground? Like,
yeah,
and they
little
look so cool.
pigeon chickens.
Yeah.
Like they were
I,
chickens, but they made pigeon noises.
like I just thought that was the first thing I noticed about the show, was that they CGI'd weird animals, because weird animals live in the Avatar the Last Airbender universe.
Just think, someone's got pigeon chicken on their resume now. Like I was the lead pigeon chicken wrangler for the Avatar show. Yeah, they did one little difference. The sky bison term they called, I think, what they call them, air bison in the animated show. But I liked the little comical sequence when Aang was talking about the sky bison. Has anybody seen my sky bison? Sky
Yeah.
bison? And he described it like 6 legs, fluffy, floating through the air. Nope, missed it. Haven't seen one of those around here. Yeah, I like the subtle comical quirkiness of the
Yeah.
show, where it's not completely serious. It could be a completely serious action show, but they put the little
Yeah.
subtle and not over the top like the cartoon, but I enjoy the subtle comedy.
A good balance. Yeah, because it's really
Yeah.
easy to make a live action, adaptation kind of lose all of its cartooniness, but it still keeps
Right.
a lot of that humor, which I think is, something that the movie failed with, among a lot of other things. But I don't know. I feel like the movie was just so serious. Like, I remember watching the movie and enjoying the movie because I hadn't seen the show at that point. But Danny, you've not even seen the movie, right?
No.
So, good. Keep it that way.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too, but again, I hadn't seen it before, so it was just, to me, it was just a movie.
Right. Yeah.
But I could completely understand why someone, if they had been a fan of the series, would find so many flaws in it or think that it wasn't
Yeah.
holding true. They probably tried to do too much in a movie,
Mm-hmm.
like told too much story. I think the having the series will be a better fit for it.
Mm-hmm. One critique of the show that I've seen has been like that the costuming is weird, or at least like compared to the movie years ago, the costuming is worse, particularly for Yue, who we haven't seen in the show yet, but I don't know if you remember her. She was like the princess of the Northern Water Tribe. She was like had the white hair.
I don't remember.
Oh, well, people are saying that she looked a lot better in the movie, but I haven't seen her in the show yet, so I don't know. I feel like that's a weird critique because I thought all the costumes looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they even had the correct weapon for Sokka.
Yeah. The show did just get renewed for 2 more seasons.
Right. I saw that.
Wow.
Did you see Daniel Day Kim announce it to his co-stars?
No, just on Netflix, when you click on the series, it says, confirmed season 2 and 3.
Oh, well, there was like a Zoom call or something, and Daniel Day Kim, he plays Ozai, who we haven't seen yet, but I'm sure I've seen pictures and he's perfect for the role. He goes, I was talking to the producers and, we had that meeting and I've got news, but I don't know if it's the news you guys wanted. And everybody's like, oh, what? And they all look sad. He's like, so we didn't get renewed for a second season. And everybody's like, what? He's like, we got renewed for both seasons.
That's cool.
That's good.
So he gave him a little prank, but it was good news. And I'm happy. Like, for some reason, right when the show came out, all I heard was negative reviews, but now everybody's like not scared to say that they like it, I guess. So everybody's saying that they like it again.
I think that's going to happen anytime you have something that's so iconic and so popular. There's going to be, anytime there's change, there's always opposition to it. But if you just let it stew for a little bit, you realize that it's good. It's always a good thing. Well, not always a good thing.
I am usually one of those people that's like, why do we need to make a live action remake of this? Why can't we just like make new stuff? But like, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, why do we need this? And then I watch it, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
There was some fantastic like settings, scenes, CGI combination together. And then there was some like, oh, I hope this horrible blue screening or green screening is intentional. Like, I think it was a wide shot. It was a wide shot of the village, and Sokka and Katara were walking back into it or something. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, that hurts. But it was just a quick little transition. So maybe it wasn't intentional. Maybe it was just like, we
lower
could spend $1 billion on this, or we could just do a 20-second scene real quick.
Or we can make chicken pigeons.
Yeah, let's spend that money on more chicken pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his friend, Aang's friend from his village.
Yeah.
Is he in the animated show?
I think so.
Okay. I really like that character.
Yeah, rip him though. Rip all of the airbenders.
Yeah, I guess
the old guy?
I know that. Yeah.
With the necklace?
Yeah.
Rip.
I guess going into it, right? You're watching the scene with all the airbenders, you're like, oh, these guys are all goners, but his time and his wisdom that he shared was very necessary for a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll live on forever in Aang's memories.
He's the Avatar's Obi-Wan.
Yeah. The whole time, speaking of Aang though, the whole time I was just like, this kid is, first of all, perfect for the role, but also just so adorable.
Yeah.
The whole time with his like big old brown eyes, I'm just like, this kid who hurt him? Like every time he's about to cry, I'm like, the poor kid.
He's like, leave them alone. Gotta go through me first.
Yeah, and the scene where they're going to go rescue Aang, and Sokka is going to get his boat ready, and Katara's like, "We don't need to take a boat," and Sokka's like, "I'm not getting on that thing," and then
I'm
it
not getting
cuts
on
right
that.
away.
Ah!
That was the cartoon had the same thing, just without the he just had his arms folded. I'm not getting on that thing, and then split second later, he's sitting on it with his arms folded. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Sokka's one of my favorite characters in the animated show. Um, and he had a very, particular view on women in the show, which, aids to his character development and, gives reason to why Katara's so angry sometimes. But people have been saying that they took out Sokka's sexism from the show. So I wonder how he's going to be character developed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see that.
Sexism, as in the women should be, cooking and cleaning and that kind of stuff, or
Yeah. Because he's also young and naive, and he's the leader of their people. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
there's a reason why he has those views,
Yeah.
they had
and
a
the
little
whole
bit of
point
it
of him.
in the village,
Yeah, he's like, you need to hide and be protected and stuff. But
right? She wanted to fight, and he didn't want her to.
yeah.
On the boat too, he was like, he said something about like, this is why Dad made me in charge, and you gotta like stay back and stuff.
Yeah.
He said something like that.
You guys have to keep watching the show, the animated show, though. When you finish the live action, I hope you keep watching the animated one because it's so funny. Like,
If someone hasn't watched either, what orders should they watch it in? Should they watch
I,
the
they
live
should watch
action
the
first?
animated first, probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
But at the same
it's also
time,
like I don't know if you should watch it at the same time.
watch them at the same time and see if the frames line up.
But no, there's just so many characters that like Toph comes in season 2, I believe, and she's a blind earthbender who's like 10 years old or something, and she's just so funny. She's the funniest character in the entire show.
Are there like no other waterbenders left except Katara?
In the southern water village, but there are some in the northern water village.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know all of the elements are supposed to, be equal and have harmony and all that good stuff. But the intro scene where the Earthbender was creating projectiles and flinging them through people, I was like, oh yeah, I would take that over a little bit of finger flamethrower action.
I was a little confused because like he was getting chased, and I was like, okay, like just make a wall. And I was like, oh, maybe he can't do that. And then like a couple seconds later, he walled himself in. I'm like, couldn't you
Right.
have walled them out? But maybe
It's
it's
more dramatic
unpredictable.
to save. He had to save his partner.
Yeah. But once you keep watching and it becomes more obvious in like Legend of Korra, there's a lot of different subtypes of bending. So like waterbenders can blood bend if they're powerful enough because there's like water and blood. And then like
well, the body is
Earth,
like 75%. Can you
yeah.
just like explode people?
Just pop them. And then like earthbenders start to becoming like metal benders and stuff if they're powerful enough. So it's really cool how different characters specialize in different like subtypes of bending also. Like we'll meet Azula, who is I think Azula does this. I don't know, but she can lightning bend, or
Whoa,
she has like blue fire.
Percy Jackson?
And he's the lightning thief, not a lightning bender. So yeah, it's really cool how all the elements kind of tie in together. It's like some things like lava both like fire and earthbenders can kind of bend.
Interesting.
Yeah. Things get real crazy in Legend of Korra. Real crazy.
They all just need some jasmine tea to calm down.
Yeah.
It's very
Call up
calming.
Uncle Iroh.
T-bender.
Before, when I was talking about the tiny bit of sympathy for, the Fire Nation, once I watched the animated series and let it kind of soak in a little bit, and then heard the uncle, what's Uncle Ito, you said?
Iroh.
Talk about how Prince Zuko, was trying to do something that his father and his uncle and his grandfather, for 100 years couldn't do. Then you start to think, this kid, right? He's obviously the antagonist, but he doesn't know anything different. Like
Right.
he wasn't part of the original war. He wasn't the deciding factor of, hey, we're going to start raging this war. He's obviously grown up in the results of the war, and he's just trying to, what he said, regain his honor or gain his honor, I guess.
Oh, Kid is traumatized. You'll get there. Kid is traumatized.
Yeah, but he's just a product. He's just a byproduct of the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you have just that iota of like, hey, he doesn't know any different. He's just doing what he's doing because that's how he was, raised.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe the avatar right before Aang was Avatar Roku, who was a firebender.
Roku.
Yeah, that's his
Talking
name.
about Ruko.
No, it's Roku.
I know.
Hey, you don't know who listens to this.
Inside family geekery inside joke. Sorry. Ruka.
And he was like best friends with the, Fire Lord of the time. So I wonder, like, I know they talk about it in the animated show, but again, it's been so long. So I just wonder how, maybe it was Roku dying that made the Fire Lord kind of go crazy and see all those things and think of, conquering the entire world will help because his avatar buddy's gone. And
Cool. So you've only watched episode 1 so far?
Yeah. I will be continuing it, though.
That's good. I think we all will.
Yep, I liked it.
Because of Netflix stupid rules, I can only watch on my computer, so
There's a way to fix that.
Get my own account.
All right.
That costs money.
All right. So anything else before we wrap this one up?
Watch the show.
Yeah.
It's a unanimous recommendation.
Yeah.
Just to go do it.
Yes. Cool. I know Zuko looks a little weird right now, but just wait. It'll get better.
He looks just like the animated, the first episode of the animation, at least.
It looks so...
Who?
He eventually grows hair.
Who's Zuko?
The
fire leader? I don't know their names. Not there yet.
There's a lot of similar names too. I had to write them down. I came prepared.
Because he's bald with a ponytail?
Yeah.
I think it's a look.
Well, it plays into his trauma.
You would think the people that played with fire would just all have no hair.
Yeah, maybe.
That would be smart.
Hairbender.
Hairbender.
Hair burner.
Yeah.
I guess let's end this with a question. If you could bend an element, which one would you bend?
Ooh.
Which one would you want to bend?
I'm going earth.
You're going earth?
It seems like you could use it for like construction purposes.
Definitely.
I mean,
I think the Earth Kingdom is like it is the biggest kingdom. and like probably the richest.
I mean, anybody can be a windbreaker.
Fart bender.
What
I
about
would
you guys?
I would do water.
You do water. I think I would do water also.
Yeah. It's fun.
But like ice, maybe. My drink would never get cold. I mean, never get warm. I'll always have my ice water.
Nice.
Well, that's a skill for you.
Yeah.
Cool. So how about we send it out to the audience and say, what would you guys like to be able to bend? Send us an email, podcast@familygeekery.com. Let us know what kind of element, what team element you're on. And we won't judge you if you say fire.
No, of course not.
Cool. So that's going to wrap up this episode. Good show. Go watch it.
Heck yeah.
That's the reaction I was looking for.
Yippee!
Yep.
So we want to thank you as always for listening to the show. Go check out the socials. Go check out the YouTube channel. Send us an email. Let us know what you think about the show. Until next time, peace out.
Peace out and geek out.
Thank you for listening to the Family Geekery podcast. For more information, visit www.familygeekery.com. Don't forget to subscribe at your favorite podcast provider. And until next time, peace out and geek out.